Product lifecycle management is about providing all of the relevant information on an item to the right people at the right time, whether that item is a component part, complete product, task, development project or whatever. In PLM 360, a powerful tool to help achieve this is the Relationship Browser. The Relationship Browser, also sometimes known as the Constellation View or Roma, provides an easy to understand graphical means of determining for a particular item what other information is related to it, giving a wider contextual view of that item. For example, we can use the Relationship Browser to get a concise overview of an assembly within PLM 360. Once we've selected the assembly we need to investigate, we click on the Visualize icon and our Relationship Browser appears. We can reposition it by panning the screen or drag any individual item to a different position to give us a clearer view. We can also use the slider to the right of the screen to change the size of it. The browser shows us the assembly in the center of the constellation and all other items which are linked to it. In this case, the item has a category assigned to it of top-level assembly, so we know it's a complete product and not just a sub-assembly. It has also been the subject of a change, and the change order related to it is shown. We can get further details on this or any other item by clicking on it to see our preview window. Finally, it consists of a bill of materials, and we can see a summary of its components here. We can also use the browser to get a better understanding of individual parts. Here we see an LED used in at least one of our products, and we can take a look at the other items which are related to that. It's linked to an internal category definition of off the shelf, telling us it's procured from a supplier, and it too is the affected item in a previous change order, so we can see some of its history. It also has links to two sub-assemblies, showing us that it's used as a component part in both of these. Now each of the links we see in the browser is color-coded to denote what type it is. By selecting the Relationship Types icon, we get a key to those colors. For example, we can see the change order is a straightforward linked item, and the two sub-assemblies are bill of materials links, confirming to us that this LED item is indeed part of the bill of materials of them. But it's not just parts and assemblies which you can investigate with the Relationship Browser. In fact, you can apply it to any item in PLM 360. For example, here we see an RFQ record. And in looking at its relationships, we can clearly see that this particular RFQ was issued to the Imagineering Machine Company, one of our main suppliers. And we can trace what it was we asked them to quote for. Finally, let's take a look at another example to show a more complex set of relationships. This time we'll start with a change order, which was completed some time ago. We can use the Relationship Browser to trace the history of this change and how it was initially instigated. So firstly, we see the change order at the center of our browser constellation. We see the component that was subject to the change, so the affected item, and also the change request, which led to and spawned this change order. Now, if we expand this change request, we can see that we involved one of our suppliers at this stage, Flictronics, and we can also see that there was a particular corrective action executed which drove and again spawned this change request. And looking further back, we see the non-conformance record which led to the corrective action, and finally an initial failed inspection which caused and spawned the non-conformance record. Here we're also given details of the product which was inspected in this case. So using the Relationship Browser, we've been able to easily view a concise summary of our change order and the trail of events which led to it, including the component that was changed, the item originally inspected, and the fact that one of our suppliers was involved. Making traceability like this easy leads to more efficient ways of achieving compliance. We can continue to expand our items in the browser to get an even fuller picture of this particular situation. If we expand our changed component, for example, we see how it's linked back through levels of subassemblies to the product originally inspected. Now, when we have complex link networks like this, we can use our relationship type filter capability to not only identify the link types as before, but also filter them on and off. For example, we might not be interested in this case in the where used bill of material links I just mentioned. So we can turn them off for greater clarity. And it's very simple to achieve the view we need by switching these link types on and off. You'll have noticed also that each item in the constellation is given a particular icon. This represents the department responsible for that item based upon the different workspace types in PLM 360. For example, components and change orders are the domain of engineering, whilst inspections and non-conformance records are owned by quality, and the icons on each item here represent that. So when we trace back links in this way, we can immediately understand where ownership changed during the process. So there you have the relationship browser in PLM 360, giving you a fast, easy to understand graphical summary of an item's relationship to other information, providing the bigger picture of that item, which allows you to make better informed decisions and provide more effective traceability.